what's up, everybody? Welcome to the part 2 review of...
You made it.
It's
you
late.
made it.
I made it
Welcome
on the second
back.
night.
12:25. We're doing it 10 minutes earlier tonight.
Yeah, well, and with 3 people instead
Yeah.
of 2. Welcome to our WrestleMania Part 2 wrap-up.
Oh, no.
Staple.
Night 2 WrestleMania.
Night 2
WrestleMania
of the
Sunday.
Mark
most,
Wahlberg told us.
of the most
No, he said WrestleMania Sunday.
stupendous WrestleMania Sunday-ish thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Marky Mark, for letting us know.
Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, feel the vibrations, and we did.
And we did.
That's right. So we're going to go through, talk a little bit about some of the matches. We're going to try and keep it short. We don't want to spoil it if you want to go back and watch it
Spoiler
too
alert.
much. Yeah, if you're watching this, then either listen to us or don't necessarily feel bad about the fact that you know what's going to happen in all the matches when you go back and watch it. So I would say overall, we'll get into overall opinions at the end.
That's right.
I like it.
Let's go ahead and just break down the card. I know, why don't we introduce ourselves first?
Who are we?
It's late.
It is.
I'm
Sure.
tired and my brain is a little bit discombobulated. So let's go ahead and start with ladies first.
Oh, this is Dr. Deb.
This is Josh.
And I, of course, am your host, Big Don, and trying to figure my life out. That's all. So our first match of the night was the men's tag match.
May I have a moment?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. The first thing that happened was that Triple H came out and brought his boots to the ring in a symbol of retirement. And I'm not crying, you're crying, okay? So let's acknowledge the King of Kings first before we move on.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Thank
He's
you.
acknowledged.
He is
I
my
have
dude.
acknowledged the King of Kings.
Triple
I don't know
H.
what he wants us to do.
Triple H is my
I'm
guy.
acknowledging Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H is my guy. When I started watching wrestling, I was more of a WCW mark. And so then I was into, like, Sting and like...
Sting, Lex Luger,
especially-
4 Horsemen.
Yeah, well, yes, all of them, yes. But then when I got into watching like WWE, WWF before they were WWE, and then WWE.
Don't get mad at us, World Wildlife Federation. We love you.
Yeah, sure, we love you, and your pandas. But I remember. Oh gosh, I totally lost.
Triple H.
Yeah, thank you.
When he did his
He
Fox
was-
gimmick in WCW, right?
Yeah, when he was the Blue Blood,
Gotcha.
Yes.
and used to come out with
wow.
William Regal
That sounds
of
right.
AEW
Oh.
fame.
See what you did there.
Yeah, he used to come out as the Blue Blood, and then you had the Click, and then you had D-Generation X,
Oh,
and all
yes.
this. But Triple H was my first like big WWE. Like, I was a huge fan of him.
You were a mark for
yes,
Triple H.
I was a
Just
mark for
fess up.
Triple H. And then D-Generation X as a whole, and that
Yeah.
kind of got me into a lot of the WWF, WWE roster and stuff like that. Anyway,
For those who hadn't heard, after a bout of viral pneumonia, he went into heart failure, which resulted in a massive, quick decline in health that they did bring him back from, and he's now dealing with a defibrillator in his chest, which will no longer allow him to perform in the ring, thus the boots. But we got the full entrance with the water all over him and probably the front row, and he also welcomed us to WrestleMania.
He did.
So,
And his
Yes.
3 daughters got hugs,
so
which was,
cute.
again,
Yeah.
more tears flowing.
yep.
I would have to say that of all of the more recent WrestleManias, this WrestleMania for me, and I think probably for the 3 of us, just because of who was featured in this WrestleMania, that this was a little bit more of an emotional tearjerker style WrestleMania for both days.
Yeah.
So, we had Undertaker going into the Hall of Fame. That's huge. We had the official like WrestleMania kickoff / retirement of Triple H, or at least a nod to that. And we were talking before the show started. I was talking with a couple of people when we were kind of getting through the pre-show, and realized that I think at this point Edge is the only, and I probably will be mistaken, so For you other 8 viewers, if you know of any that I am not thinking of, let me know. But I'm pretty confident that Edge is the only Attitude Era person that is still active on the roster. Oh, wait. Rey Mysterio?
That's
He's
possible.
Invasion.
But again, it's that ruthless aggression because remember he came from WCW.
Yeah, right. That's why I was questioning it. Yeah, so he was the WCW guy, and then I was like, well, what about Brock and John Cena? But you pointed out the fact that those both really kind of came in during that ruthless aggression time period and stuff like that, which was, just post Attitude Era. So I'm pretty confident that Edge at this point is the only Attitude Era guy on the roster,
And Edge
which
is the one that we didn't ever think was come. I never thought
Right.
he would come back.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that's just bizarre to me. Like, what? He's back? Yep. And he's the only one left.
Yeah. So,
Wild.
anyway, yeah. A heartfelt WrestleMania all together with the Hall of Fame and all the other fun stuff and things like that. But anyway, so
Wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling.
Heard about wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Raw tag team titles.
Yes.
Oh,
RK Bro versus the Alpha Academy
so good.
versus
Street Profits.
So
in,
good.
frankly, a banger of a starting match that had the ending we were
Yes.
not expecting.
100%.
With RK Bro retaining.
Yeah, I literally on our WrestleMania night 2 score sheets, I was like, oh well, there's no way the Street Profits are not gonna win the title.
Sure.
There's no way, and this is gonna be the opportunity that WWE is gonna take to have Randy Orton take the pin, and then Matt and Randy start feuding internally, and it falls apart, and then you have that. But no, they all of those plans dashed to the wind because they retained in an incredible.
It was a feel-good win
Oh, it
for
was so
RK
good.
Bro, and then
Yeah.
they brought in their new acquisition, if I can use the term.
Friend. It was
Friend.
a friend.
Oh, it's a friend.
I don't
Okay.
think they're on the
My
same
friend.
team. It was a friend.
Okay, but he still brought him in and then we have what looked to be maybe the start of a feud, but possibly Chad Gable with that interaction. So
Chad Gable versus Gable Stevenson. Did you
Yeah.
realize the Gable comparisons there?
it's the House of the Seven Gables.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
I don't know that reference,
Nope,
and yet I
that's
feel
all
like
right.
I should have.
That's all right.
He doesn't know the House of the Seven Gables?
I don't. That's why I just said I don't know that
Nathaniel
reference.
Hawthorne. Somebody out there. Nathaniel Hawthorne. Show me some love. I mean, come on. I'm that old.
Yeah, no,
Okay. Moving
I'm going
on.
to give that match an up.
Yep.
I'll give it an absolute up. No
Yeah.
argument there.
Yeah, I think I
Moving
honestly,
on.
I even stated at the beginning of the show when that match was done, even before seeing anything else, that was definitely a candidate for match of the night,
Yeah.
possibly match of the weekend,
Agreed.
because it was fantastic. I really like the triple threat 3-way tag rules that they did, because it was basically like 3 guys were in the ring at one time,
Yeah.
3 guys were out of the ring at one time. I really like that format. It mixes it up really cool.
It moved
Who knew?
fast.
Who knew? In this day and age, WWE could be inventive and clever and come up with something that was really cool and
Be
really
care-
worked.
Be careful, though. They aren't going to use it later.
That's true. That's
Remember
true.
it. You may never see it again.
That's true. And they'll go out on, on Raw and lose or something, and it'll be 50-50 booking. We know how that works. Anyway, fantastic match.
So great
Solid.
Overall, huge up for that match. It was great.
Agreed.
It's great.
Then we had the two big men matches, although Lashley didn't look big in the next match, which was so weird.
Omos
Yeah.
dwarfed Lashley
Lashley and Omos.
in size, everything we could see.
Yeah.
However, Lashley gave Omos his first loss,
He did.
and by pin after
Clean?
spearing him pretty handedly.
Yeah.
And
A couple of times.
yeah,
A
and
couple of times.
we were all kind of shocked by it. Someone, I don't remember who was that asked, like, I don't see how we're going to see Omos lose to Lashley. I said, well, I don't think Lashley can take another loss.
I said that
Yeah.
But
because Omos was my pick for this
yeah,
match.
no, I get it, and I'm pretty sure
Lashley
I
right
even
here.
picked Omos because
Yeah.
Lashley.
I see that, I get it. Fine. I chose correctly. Anyway, you just like hearing me say it right. It's true, you know it. Anyways, It was still really good though. There were moments almost threw Lashley around, but Lashley just kept coming back. He never went for the hurt lock.
No, he tried. He tried to lock it in
Did he?
once. Yeah, he
Okay.
tried, but
I
it
missed
did
it.
not work
Cool.
well. Yeah.
But he got the spear.
Yes.
And he got it again. Once for the back and then once for the front finally, I believe, right? And he got the clean 3 count.
Yeah.
And Bobby was, standing tall. It was really good.
It was good.
I'm
Looked good.
I'm going to give it an up myself because I believe Lashley needed the win. It was a good feel-good moment for Lashley, especially if we're going to move forward with him being a face, which I'm thumbs up for.
Yeah.
Let him be a good guy. I'm good with that. And almost did well in his outing and a big time match.
Yeah, I mean, this
He
is
did really well.
WrestleMania, and he did well. I didn't see any big issues overall. I mean, you could tell experience-wise that Lashley is much stronger experience-wise, but I thought they both delivered well. I give it an up.
What do you think, Don?
I gave it a down.
Okay.
Tell the truth.
I gave it a down because though I love Bobby Lashley, I really do. I think he's a fantastic athlete, and I think he's incredible for the sport of professional wrestling. And just his life and testimony is pretty cool. I just feel like when you build up, I guess mine comes from the perspective of in the future what's going to happen to Omos. Because when they've done things like this with Adam Scherr, with Shayna Baszler, where they build them up as these monsters of people, and then they put them in a killer elimination match, or they put them in a really good match where there's somebody who is really dominant that they do well against, and then they lose, then they just slip into obscurity, and then what do you know, 6 months down the line, they're getting released. And I just don't think that for a guy like Omos, that's good. Because what I did like about the match, the highlights for me about the match is this is the longest match I've seen Omos go in that's a singles match, which was fantastic. And to go that far with a guy like Bobby shows that there's a lot of care that Bobby has for seeing Omos do well.
Yes.
If when you're playing inside baseball, you kind of understand those connections. Yeah. I'm just hoping, and the reason I gave it a down was because I'm just hoping that this is not Omos's first step into the chasm that is the mid card, and we never see him again.
Agreed.
Because even though I was not a huge fan of his initial booking, especially with AJ, I just didn't understand it. Once you kind of got a chance to see them together, it reminded me a lot of like X-Pac and Kane, or like Bryan Danielson and Kane when they were together and stuff like that, or Daniel Bryan and Kane, whatever.
No, you're right the first time.
Yeah. So yeah, that was why I gave it a down, because I didn't see the purpose, and I'm really hoping that it's really just an opportunity for them to push Bobby one way and push Omos a different way.
Sure.
So
Fair enough.
Let's see what's next.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I did not watch this match, so
That's
you guys
okay.
are gonna have
it
to
was
talk about it.
fantastic.
Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn in an anything goes match.
Yes.
And when you commented about match of the weekend, and we can
Yes.
bring that up later.
Yes.
This somehow, by the time it was over with, became a contender.
Yes, I will agree with that statement.
It became a contender because Johnny Knoxville was Johnny Knoxville, and Sami Zayn allowed Johnny Knoxville and his whole crew to be yes, we're family friendly, but I'm going to use it now, the jackasses they are, because that was their whole show.
Yeah.
And my goodness, between throwing bowling balls and between somebody's legs, watching Sami Zayn get thrown off the top rope through a table that was covered in mouse traps. He got slapped with the big hand slap. Whatever, the party guy came out wearing his like knot thong thing.
Yeah.
And then it ultimately ended with Johnny Knoxville pinning Sami Zayn with a giant mousetrap.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Like a mousetrap the size of Tablezilla.
Yes. Yeah.
This is what I missed.
Yes.
Yep.
It was fantastic. You should definitely go back and watch it, Deb.
The crowd was into it.
It was so good.
Okay.
Can I just say, to me, the most impressive point of that match was Wee Man body slamming Sami Zayn.
No, yeah.
Like the fact he hoisted him up and slammed him on the mat. And then, of course, immediately took a haluva kick. But that's just what happens.
And Deb, I know you don't know the Jackass cast, but Wee Man is a a smaller person.
Okay,
I'm not going to use any term, whatever. But
right.
Sami Zayn is
a
not
man of short stature.
Man of short stature.
Well, with a name like that, I would hope so.
Yeah.
But okay,
He's fantastic. And
a pocket version.
I've actually met him in real life. Extremely sweet guy, very very nice, and it was so fun to watch all of those guys. I was really hoping Steve-O was going to be there. I was really hoping for that because he's kind of I would say, in the grading scale of things, next to Johnny Knoxville, he's like the next he would have done something off of a 30-foot ladder. Is all I'm saying. He would have gone to the next extreme. But anyhow.
If they turn it into an ad for Jackass Forever, then it worked. So
yeah, it was great.
I'm going to give it an up. It deserves every bit of it.
Yeah, I will give it a huge, big, fat, huge hand up.
Huge hand up.
No comment from Dr. Death.
And super credit to the WWE camera crew tonight. There were a couple of moments all night. But that one in particular, watching Sami Zayn try and run from Johnny Knoxville, who was chasing him with a taser, to then turn around and get slapped with the big hand.
Man.
And then later, there's a great bit where Paul Heyman slightly...
Stop reading my notes.
I'm not trying to. We'll get to that. Camera crew shows Paul Heyman do stuff.
Yeah, stuff.
Do stuff. So, let's see what's next.
Fatal 4-Way, the feel-good match of the night is what I called it.
The Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team Title match with Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler versus Queen Zelina and Carmella, the current champions, which are no longer the champions because Sasha Banks and Naomi got the win, which I love how you called it the feel-good match because we gave Maggie the opportunity to watch Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch win. Bianca wins the title.
Bianca beat Beck.
And then she's like, I really want to watch Sasha Banks. And it happened to go on right before she was supposed to go to bed.
Right.
So she stayed up and was able to watch and got to see her other favorite women's wrestler.
Those are that she says are her two favorite wrestlers.
It was so good.
And our friend got to come over. I won't say his name because I don't know if we have permission, but our friend got to come over and was going bananas.
That's true.
Oh my gosh.
The only person more excited than Maggie was our friend who came over when Sasha got the pin. I thought he was going to go through our roof. So, I just put on here feel good! ! So.
And I'll tell you, so Shayna Baszler was very intimidating to Carmella and Zelina, which was a funny little story that was going on at the same time.
As she should be.
Correct.
Naomi is still the most surprisingly athletic person that I have seen. That's maybe not Charlotte Flair, but still real close.
She's ridiculous.
And then Liv and Rhea are just having a blast in there, doing what they're doing. The riptide into the backstabber combination that they did.
It looks so good.
Fantastic. So just overall, I like Zelina Vega. I like Carmella. I think that they're not into. Okay.
You made that very apparent.
Just in case anyone wonders, no. Sasha and Naomi, all day long. I was.
Well, because they actually acted like a tag team.
Shocker. Yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, no, it was. I like Feel Good. I'm gonna give her up.
Yeah, I'm definitely gave it a solid up. Don?
So I'm on the fence with this one. I'm not gonna give it a
fence sitters.
It's
too late to be like it's too late.
I know. This isn't a versus topic. Just choose.
Okay,
That's right.
You know what? Here, I will give it an up. But
it's a cautionary up.
It is a melancholy
under threat.
A melancholy.
It is a melancholy up because I am such a huge mark for Liv and Rhea. I wanted them to win so bad, and I love Sasha and Naomi, and I think that it's really cool that they're kind of putting their tag team / stable that they used to have, it's under a different name sort of thing, back together. Which is kind of cool. But as I said before the match started, Liv is literally the only woman in that competition.
No, Shayna. We established Shayna Baszler hasn't won.
Shayna has
either.
won the NXT Women's title.
Okay, fine. All right.
Liv Morgan is the only one on that in that 4 tag team squall of craziness.
Squall
that has never won a title belt. Okay. And I just felt like especially after last year's WrestleMania with her and Ruby going through the gauntlet thing so well, that this would be the time that they would finally pull the trigger on it, and it still didn't happen. And especially the fact that she's with Rhea, I was just... But I will give it ups because Sasha
has
Naomi,
taken the loss on
yes,
multiple
she has.
WrestleManias.
She has also won the women's title multiple times.
Yes,
Yeah,
but not at WrestleMania.
But not at WrestleMania.
Well, she's got to be in a good wrestling match.
You mean like this one?
Like
Well, technically,
little soon.
who won it last year?
Bianca beat Sasha.
Sasha
Right.
last year with a crack heard around the world.
So Sasha had it going into WrestleMania, and
Right.
it wasn't good
and then
enough
Bianca beat her.
to stay with the title, and therefore
All
she
I'm
had to
saying
get
is,
the tag.
when you are
Right.
whipped
You're a
within
legit
an
jerk
inch of
is
your
what you
life,
I'm a big jerk.
You're a
and you
legit
have a
jerk.
I'm
scar
a
across
legit-
your belly,
I'm
that
going
you
for
took
MJF
this.
status right now.
You're
Right, so match 5.
moving on. Yes.
Hey.
Match 5, which was the longest match of the night.
Also, did not watch this match.
Yeah,
so
you were putting Maggie to bed at the
I
time.
would.
And
Oh, that's right.
This is
I
going
was
to be
like, why wouldn't you watch this match?
Well,
because I was putting
forgot.
my daughter
I
to
forgot.
bed,
Yep.
who had the feel good moment.
But it
forgot.
was AJ Styles versus Edge, which should have been better than it was.
And should have been half as long.
Ooh.
I have to
It
give
would have been. It would not have felt as long if it would have been a better match.
Right. And that's saying something because I do believe that AJ Styles is one of the top performers, in all of professional
surprised.
wrestling.
Yes.
And Edge has made an incredible career out of his general career, and even coming back is doing a great job.
Yeah.
And I am
Well,
excited.
the match that he had with Randy Orton a couple of years ago when they were in the Performance Center or whatever.
You mean
it
the
was.
one that went too long? Also,
Right. But I'm
Oh.
just saying, at least that one had a bunch of creative spots and things like
True.
that for it. That's all I'm saying. This just felt long because it was just really long and unnecessary storytelling in the ring.
yeah. No, I'm with you. And I'm actually excited about the Damian Priest angle that did cause the distraction that caused AJ to lose, which we know all how much we love distractions.
Which was such a weird distraction because it's not like if you go back and watch this match, Damian Priest is literally just standing.
Oh, yeah.
outside.
Hold on. Are you distracted?
Yes. I'm so distracted that I'm going to not hit my finisher and lose.
Okay, just making sure because I don't even know if Damian could see AJ
No.
and yet distracted him.
You know what it reminds me of? When they're backstage watching
Watching
the
this way?
television
yeah, I can't do
that's
the button.
over here.
over
That's
there somewhere.
oh my god.
Look at the gear while I'm watching the show
Yes.
over here.
And the
yeah.
side eye from Big E the whole
Oh
time
my
is giving you the eye.
goodness.
It's oh.
But
That's
yeah,
anyways.
unfortunately.
I
can't
have to
give
give it a down.
I can't give it
I'm
anything.
not
so.
happy about it. I'm
Yeah.
not, but I'm giving it a down.
I will join you in that down. Yeah, I think that sadly both of these guys. I think that had it been two other people, it probably would have gotten a pass. But it's kind of like you have, two of the greatest wrestlers. You have two of the greatest wrestlers in the business that can put on a show,
Yeah.
and then it just falls a little flat.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It could have been a lot better, but it wasn't the worst match I've ever seen. It
Can't
just
win 'em
wasn't
all.
great. Yeah. And AJ Styles got blasted in the face by Pyro.
yeah.
He was actually
Was
cut.
that what happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he was bleeding, and I
Yeah.
actually took Maggie
He
upstairs.
was bleeding as
'cause
he
I
was walking
really
down the ramp.
nervous
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer
That
of
it
the
was going to get
Wrestling
bloody. Like, it
Dave
was gonna get-
Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer pointed it out on
Yeah.
Okay.
Twitter.
Is that what
it
it
was
was?
from the pyro, and that's
Yeah.
why he kept looking back
That's
at the
what
pyro.
a friend commented and actually called that and thought it might have been the pyro.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty
So
good.
That person was correct.
Yeah,
might be in the room.
but somehow
Thanks, Jason.
Jason Pearson might have been absolutely correct.
check out Jason's The Real Thing RPG.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Shameless plug. It's got 2
Shameless
more
plug.
weeks on Kickstarter. Get
that's
it.
right. Anyways, that was number 5. Number 6 was the postponed match from night 1 of the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland, and it's getting it down because the match is
Big.
already over.
Yeah. Fact. I'm pretty sure your introduction to the match was longer than the match itself.
I came downstairs because I had just put Maggie to bed. So I sat there and I was looking at Josh and we're talking, and I'm trying to get ready to turn to watch the match, and he's like, "Yeah, it's over." I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
didn't it just start? So I'm like, did we do anything useful here? And I don't think we did. So
No.
I'll give it a down because
There-
I was actually in the room for that one.
Yeah. There was no storyline extended. There wasn't even like a weird Damian Priest distraction finish to boat it to. It was
Give him
just
another one.
a short squash match that didn't make a lot of sense. Like, I feel like even though yesterday I was really upset that they ended up cutting it from night 1 and moving it to night 2, and I really wanted them to have the match, I guess I probably should have felt more blessed with potentially having it cut than whatever that was that they gave us tonight.
Why are you squashing New Day? Like, I don't even get
time. I mean, time and things like that. They got to manage
then
time.
don't do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have rather them probably not done it because it also had, outside of the Big E thing. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it was a match that you could have extended out to potentially be a Backlash match.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
But they got on the card, which if the contract states that you have to perform to get your payday,
that's true.
Then they're going to
put them on. Yeah, they're going to put them on there.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yay.
I'm going to take that, but it was terrible.
It was terrible.
Let's see, next singles match. By the way, I want to give another. I'm doing it. Pro Wrestling Scorecards. Check them out.
Oh yes.
Because we're using their sheet because Don was our winner for this weekend. It was pretty good. Anyways, Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory, where Vince McMahon came out to cheer on his boy get beat by Pat McAfee. In a fantastic match, Pat looked almost as good as Logan Paul. Almost. Pat had one moment that made Logan Paul like, "What? Why is Logan here?" Like the moment when he jumped up on the top rope.
Yes,
like
the vertical leap was impressive.
It was nuts, just absolutely nuts.
I mean, even though he missed it, Pat McAfee performed a swanton off of the top rope.
It's true.
Which is.
But Logan did a frog splash.
But okay, I'm a fat guy who can do a frog splash off of a diving board. I'm not going to do a swanton off of a diving board. I'm just saying.
That is not going to be our next stable podcast, right? We're not doing that.
I'm not taking all this to a pool.
Going to the pool?
I don't even know.
We just get some GoPros.
Okay, fair. Who wants to donate GoPros?
I will not be there
for
that.
And I'll just cannonball right in.
Not even.
No?
What were we discussing again? I lost
track.
track.
Pat McAfee.
Wrestling.
Pat McAfee.
Wrestling.
Pat McAfee gets the win with the was it most devastating move? The roll up?
Yes.
I think that's what it was.
It was the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment.
That's right.
I wrote it right there.
Which is
Simon
okay because it was the only one they did. Like
Why?
in all of WrestleMania.
Why? Explain this to me. One question.
Oh, okay.
Why did the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders come out when he kicked for the Indianapolis Colts?
Because they were already there.
Blue and white.
They already got paid.
But it's not the right blue and white.
They live down the road.
I threw papers because I was so ticked off.
She Brody lead the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
I Brody lead them. May he rest in peace, that wonderful guy. They just... Why?
You just visualized all that. Just hit all the cheerleaders with the bundle of paper.
We haven't gotten to the next part yet. Never mind. I'm going to have another why, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, because we're getting the first an up. I'm giving it an up. Absolutely.
That one can
Austin Theory.
Yes.
Pat McAfee.
I made the comment and note that Pat McAfee is no longer an NFL player. Pat McAfee is a pro wrestler.
That's right.
It says it on Wikipedia, so it has to be right.
Well,
Well,
it has to be true.
I'm just saying,
Maybe.
like, I felt like Logan Paul's performance on night 1 was pretty spectacular considering.
Impressive.
And I felt exactly the same way with Pat. Like, if this is where these guys are at right now, if this is something that they want to turn into a career and be active in the ring, I think that they're on a really good foundation to do some pretty cool stuff.
It's true. And it's a dream moment for him. He said
yes,
that. We'd love to
100%.
wrestle WrestleMania, and Vince gave him that opportunity.
Yes,
and then
it was
Vince
fantastic.
Gave him another opportunity.
Oh, Lasai.
Vince
Vinny.
took the coaxing by Pat McAfee to get in the ring. He faked taking off his jacket and took off his jacket. Then he took off his tie and his shirt to reveal the black tank top underneath. He got in the ring. Ref's like, sure you want to do this? Sure. Stall. Austin Theory hits Pat McAfee. They ring the bell, and now we have a fight. Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee. That's right. Vince McMahon, who's either 73 or 74, fought Pat McAfee.
Who's 34.
Second to last at WrestleMania 38.
We're not talking about numbers anymore because they make Vince feel...
Old?
Yeah, I was going to say having generous years, but either way, old.
Because his fight with Pat McAfee might not have made him feel old because he got to get the win. But when he got stunned by Stone Cold Steve Austin...
No, he didn't get stunned by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Call it like it.
Yeah.
Stone Cold tried to stun him, sort of twice, but it was not. That was
the best
stunner.
part was what the best part was Steve Austin's look on his face when he knew it was a total mess up.
He's busting out laughing.
We got our Texas-sized exit. We got one more attempted stunner.
McAfee lying on the ground, pouring the beer in his mouth should be a meme.
He had to get stunned first.
Austin Theory got stunned.
With the Brian Alvarez said the 10-star sell of the
oh my god,
oh my lord, he bounced twice or like 3 times.
Yeah,
he was like the incredible bouncing Austin.
Yes, yeah, I think he bounced 3 times.
I think he did.
Yeah, it was great, but then he called Pat McAfee in. They had a couple of beers. Pat McAfee took the stunner. We thought we were going to be going home happy at that point because McMahon's down, McAfee's out of the ring. Austin literally like runs to the ramp. It's like, oh, I forgot something. He goes and gets something. At one point, he throws McMahon's shoe down the ramp, which was funny in itself. But then, right before he gets out of the ring, they pan down, and Pat McAfee's on the ground, on his side, pouring a beer down his mouth after he just got stunned, which was funny. And then it warmed up with smiling Stone Cold about falling on his butt as he slipped getting on the ramp.
Yep. And I'm thinking, see, I'm thoughting. That's how bad this was.
Thoughting.
I'm thoughting as a doctor, he's going to kill himself on WrestleMania night 2. And then what are we going to do? We're going to make orthopedic surgeons really mad or really happy, depending on how this goes. But oh my gosh, there's another meme. So now we've got Stone Cold falling on his butt on top of Pat McAfee drinking himself into oblivion. Because he was probably just so
impromptu, McMahon-McAfee,
couldn't stop
down.
laughing.
Impromptu, that match gets it down because Vince McMahon pinned Pat McAfee. Stone Cold Steve Austin attempting to stun Vince McMahon, successfully stunning Austin Theory, and really stunning Pat McAfee. Totally gets it up. I'm willing to give that a double thumbs up because that crowd was already like, what did we just watch?
Right.
Why did Vince do this? Oh my gosh, we're excited. It's time for the main event.
Yep.
The biggest WrestleMania match of all time.
No. Most stupendous.
Nope, that is the most stupendous WrestleMania. The match was the biggest WrestleMania match of all time.
Sorry.
According to
about
WWE.
Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan.
That's wrong. Wrong.
And real old by now.
Yeah, well.
That was 35 WrestleManias ago.
We're not talking about numbers.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyways, wrong. But it was Brock Lesnar, the WWE champion.
Barack
Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the undisputed.
I can't do it all. I can't remember it all.
The reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, the tribal chief Roman Reigns. Like, I'm not Paul Heyman by any means.
No.
But these guys proceeded to have a Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar WrestleMania match, which resulted in about 10 suplexes, a spear through a guardrail, 4 more spears, couple Superman punches, shenaniganizing with a low blow and a belt to the face. And then, what did you want to talk about for Paul Heyman?
What was that?
So at one point, Brock Lesnar has Roman Reigns in a double wrist lock.
The Kimura lock.
Which is also called a Kimura. And during that time, instead of tapping, Roman reaches for the ropes, and he's just shy. And magically, some fat little hand pushes the rope with one finger towards Roman Reigns, who immediately grabs the rope for a rope break. And somehow, legitimately, even in the replay, I was looking for it, somehow the ref totally misses it. Obviously he's purposely not looking that direction, but they're hit. Paul Heyman's hand and this ref's face are probably 12 inches away from one another. So
you should sense it near him. You should sense when Paul Heyman's hand is near you.
That's because, he's focusing like right here, and it's like.
The note that I made for this match was the cameramen were on point all night.
All night.
Yes.
Because literally, just out of frame, you see this chubby little hand push the rope over, and then Roman grabs it.
Because it was the right call.
Because it was the right call.
Speaking of right call.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns did win and become the undisputed champion,
reigning,
unified
defending,
champion,
undisputed,
WWE
unified.
Universal Heavyweight
How many
Champion
words?
of the world of
Too
the Tribal
many
Chiefs of Samoa.
Of Samoa. All of
That
Samoa.
own tables that have heads.
Esquire.
Esquire.
And he wears chili peppers around his neck. What is he trying to keep vampires
don't
away?
know.
I do not
That's
get
garlic.
this at all.
That's garlic.
It's a garland.
Regardless,
Garland of chili peppers.
I'm not, I'm not the biggest fan of the shenanigans in it, but he's the heel. That's how it works. But I'm giving it an up because it was the right call. As much as I love Brock Lesnar, especially cowboy
Same.
butt kicker, which he did not use that word.
No, he did
I'm
not.
giving it an up.
Me too.
Okay. I will give it an up, but I'm more of a
Do you have a melancholy
cautionary
up also?
I have a melancholy up.
Just
Yes, I
envisioning
want a
this up
melancholy
with
up,
clouds
too.
on it.
Man.
There's kind of this dark cloud that sort of hovered because I wanted Farmer Brock to win, frankly.
Sure.
I wanted there to finally be some like resolution with this whole Brock is this romantic triangle of Roman and Brock and Paul Heyman. I
It's all
wanted there
kiss
to
and makeup afterwards. What are you expecting?
not quite.
I've moved
but-
on, Brock.
Forget about me.
Forget about
You
me.
need to move on. It's gonna be okay. I wanted Brock to win. I like this version of Brock Lesnar. And so I wanted to continue to see this version of Brock Lesnar a little bit longer. And I was hoping
Which
that if
we
we
will.
could get possibly, but he's gonna go and hang out in his cabin for like 4 or 5 months now,
Okay.
so I don't know. But at any rate, I'm not the match was good. It was a good match. It was good wrestling. They delivered. I mean, boy, did they beat the tar out of each other. I mean, so it gets a melancholy up from me.
Oh God. Well, okay. Well then, overall, I say the show got an up. As an overall for night 2, got an
Yes.
up.
I don't think I gave any golden ups tonight. It was an
No,
up. It was
no.
a solid up for the
Though
night.
Stone Cold is real close to receiving one.
Why from
again,
almost falling on it?
Because I gave him one. I gave him one last night, and which was tough with the Cody Rhodes Seth Rollins thing. But I definitely gave. Yeah. Anyways,
All right.
golden up. Whatever. I did want to ask, what everybody's favorite moment for the weekend was. Favorite match, if you want to say that, for the weekend before we
Match
close
or
out.
moment? Those are two different things.
I'm going to say match. I think match makes the most sense
Okay.
because that's what we were giving
'Cause
ups and
that's not
downs
the same
to. So
for me.
I'm giving it to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins for me as my I just think Cody Rhodes had one heck of a journey in the last 6 years. He's now back in WWE. He is exploring, from what I'm hearing, and I haven't seen all the interviews yet, his goal was to come back and do what his dad and his brother had not done, and that was get a world championship. And that's pretty awesome. If that is what he wants to do. Now, I understand people can argue, well, you booked yourself into a hole where you couldn't do that at AEW and blah, blah, blah. Well, whenever he did,
Right.
this is where he's at now. His family are happy, and that's what he wants. And I'm okay with it.
Well, and I feel like it's kind of unfair if people do have that opinion of him booking himself into a corner, because without Cody putting in the work that he did put in, whether he booked himself into a corner or not, I don't think you would have the same degree of AEW that you have
Agreed.
now.
Completely.
So I feel like you have to at least give him the credit of saying creatively what he didn't want to do was he didn't want to book himself into the title constantly.
Right.
Because that is not really fair
Exactly.
to, first of all, other competition and people who are up-and-comers. And second of all, I feel like if your goal is to be a world champion because out of the Rhodes legacy you want to earn that title, then putting yourself in that title picture because you are an executive vice president or, you know, part of the elite or former Bullet Club member or
Might tarnish it.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, are you really earning it because you're kind of in the seat of power and putting yourself in that position? Which is why I think it works so well for Kenny Omega for so long, because he didn't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he played the field like everybody else who has gotten that opportunity to do. And I feel like for Cody, this is exactly what he wants and what he deserves. And I agree. I think that is a great Polaroid moment for his career and for WrestleMania, and I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do with booking him. So,
Did you have a favorite match?
I think my favorite match was probably the men's tag title match. I think that it was extremely unexpected.
Which one?
Oh, right. The Raw men's title match from tonight, night 2. It led off huge energy. I really, again, love the whole triple threat 3 tag team. If that's what they're going to go with, I think it's great.
I agree.
Not that WWE really listens to us, but
we'll make them number 9.
Yes.
They're going to watch along with Tony Khan.
Right.
Sure.
Right,
Exactly.
it's coveted prize.
Yeah,
to be
you
a
know,
stableist for number 9.
Number 9. So I think that that's probably my go-to match. Go-to match of at least of the night. We're talking of the night or of the weekend.
You
said
of
the weekend.
But
Yeah, I'll say that for the weekend
That's
because
fair.
I feel like it was great, and I'm really pleasantly surprised that RK Bro won because I think RK Bro is the best thing since the New Day holding the titles in the tag division.
Riddle catching, what was it, Montez Ford with the RKO, only to then have Randy Orton almost one up it by catching Chad Gable.
Well, the fact that
That was so great.
leapt from the outside apron onto the top rope, and RKO'd him off the top, and then immediately followed up with Randy hitting Gable with one, who was coming off the top into a splash, was just
great.
There's nothing better than watching Randy Orton do what Randy Orton does
That's
best.
true.
Yes.
It's true.
The timing was just so perfect. Like, I was like, how could that have been any more perfect? I think I even asked.
Yeah.
I think I might have shouted that.
It's crazy.
Because it was so good.
I feel like he just has a workshop where he has different wrestlers who are training come up with different ideas for him to execute an RKO from it.
Right.
Like,
how can I do a
hey,
new RKO?
I'm gonna jump out of a Volkswagen and you're gonna RKO me. You know,
That is
stuff
a
like
gif if I've ever seen one.
Well, from out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh. Literally from out of nowhere. Coming out of a Volkswagen. That's,
Right.
And Dr.
that's what
Deb?
my voice is.
Deb, what do you think?
I think it's a hard one. The moment when Cody Rhodes was rising through. So the match of Rhodes and
Rollins.
Seth Rollins was great. I mean, it was solid, start to finish. Although Seth Rollins did save Cody Rhodes' life at one moment. But other than that, it was...
The catching him in the moonsault where he
Yes.
wasn't quite twisted all the
Oh,
way.
yeah. I think he would have died, but Seth saved him. But when he started rising out from there, and that was that same entrance that they do with him AEW, the outfit, he was the American Nightmare. He wasn't this Stardust, whatever that was. You could just see him, this is me. You know, I felt like we needed to bust out a little bit of, Greatest Showman, this is me.
Look out, 'cause here I come.
That's enough.
Sorry. That's it, because we can't do much more.
Stop. That was a fantastic... That was a great... I'm struggling because I want to name something else, but you said it had to be match. So that's the match.
Go ahead. I'll give it to you.
Okay, can I have it?
Of course.
Okay.
We break the rules all the time.
Thank you. My moment was that I actually got to see Undertaker step out. Well, I'm going to have a moment here because Undertaker has been my favorite wrestler for literally all that I've watched wrestling. He's the reason I started watching wrestling. So when he came out for the acknowledgement of the Hall of Fame, and he just, the opening was there. It was the lightning. It was the everything to the opening, and he comes out, but he's just dressed as Mark Calloway this time. And I mean, I cried. Liquid respect, as one of my other friends said over there at Lance. It was fantastic. If this is his last ride, so to speak, and if he doesn't come back, although he said never say never, but if this is it, it was great. I mean, the amount of respect in that room, that was just overflowing. And then when he turned around and he said thank you to the crowd. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm completely gone. I need a box of Kleenex. So that moment, and of course it had to happen on the same night that Triple H puts his boots in the ring. I'm like, this is not even fair. But they were both very well done. And so that was my moment. That's what I will remember, is watching him turn around and say thank you to the crowd as he walks out.
That's why I break the rule.
Rule breaker.
Was that horrible?
Yes.
I don't even know why we have rules anymore.
We don't follow them.
We set a rule.
This is a
and then
no
immediately break
disqualification
it.
podcast.
No holds barred. No
Except cursing.
holds
True.
barred. Or no bars holded.
I think
No bars holding.
I think this is watching us fading.
It's true.
I think this
1
is
o'clock hit.
watching
It
us
happened.
fade into
That's it.
Into the oblivion
Into
that
mental
is-
obscurity.
the fog of the Undertaker's
That's it.
entrance. Is just. All right, Don. What do we got?
Well, I got nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you got?
I
Got any fun notes you want to write in the comment on like last time?
Well, like I said, I had the most. Well, I already said that one. Most devastating move. All the sports entertainment. No, I've already said most of them. Sadly, I've used them up. So
I mean, that's what our podcast is for, is to use them all up.
use it all
That's
up.
right.
We leave it all
On the
on
mat.
the
Oh,
mat.
Oh,
That oughta
Joshy?
be-
I don't wear any boots, or I'd put them down.
Oh,
Okay.
Just
All right.
temporarily though, because I gotta wear them to work tomorrow. What are you guys
Right.
thinking?
Right.
we're gonna cry again. We can't do that.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on our WrestleMania Night 2 wrap-up.
Episode
our-
11, by the way, if you're curious, because I
Gosh,
didn't say 10 last time.
episode- Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
10.
thank you so
Double
much
digits?
for joining us on episode 11, our WrestleMania Sunday night WrestleMania wrap-up. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Hope you guys go back and watch the show.
Join us at Squared Circle Expo, April 15th and 16th.
That's right. That's right. And otherwise, thank you guys so much, and we will check you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Deuces.